Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and today we're taking a look at the 1994 Ford Supervan 3. Now this was built to promote the new facelift that the Mark III Transit was to receive in 1995, and is basically a racing version of the Transit. Now we have had the Super Sport van from the subsequent Mark IV, the Transit, on this game already. But it is nice to see this version on the game because it is an even more insane version of the Transit, because unlike the other one that we have, the newer one, this is mid-engined and rear wheel drive, whereas the other one was front engined and rear wheel drive. And it is a lot more race prepared because, as you can see, it's got a huge front splitter, a huge rear spoiler, it's got massive side ducts to feed the engine with cool air, wider tyres front and rear. It's got the mast-off headlights at the front, and the windows and interior are even completely stripped out. As you can see, the windows are plastic with only a hole in for air conditioning, and there's nothing left of the interior that isn't necessary for racing really. So 2 seats, an extinguisher, and your dials, and that's pretty much it. So pretty much a radical overhaul, to be honest. And even the gear lever has been repositioned. It's now on the right rather than on the left for better racing, I guess. That's the kind of setup that was more favourable in terms of racing. But nonetheless, there is nothing in the front other than a few wires and some fluids, as you can see. So it's completely different in terms of its layout. And in fact, this body shell is 7/8 the size of the standard Transit. So it's basically a replica. It's not made out of the same materials that a normal Transit would be, to make sure it's really rather light. And here's the engine, which is a pretty damn good engine. It's from Cosworth, and it's a 2.9 litre V8 engine producing 295 horsepower and 283 pounds-feet of torque. And considering it's only weighing in at 1,962 pounds, you're not going to be wasting much of that power with weight. So really rather lightweight, and I really do like it, to be honest. It's a good handling car. It's extremely quick, and it's nice to have something completely different on this game, because we've never had a van like this before on any Forza game before. Granted, the Super Sport van is a more sporty version of the standard Transit, but that still had a diesel engine. It's still front engined, and still basically was a Transit, just with a little bit more power and a little bit better handling. But this is a completely radical overhaul. So it lasted in terms of being promoted as until 2001, and let's get out onto the open road and see what it can do. Now, with all those modifications, it's fair to say that this car is not like any Transit ever out there, to be honest. And with all that power and the lack of weight, it's also really rather competitive against, sports cars and even supercars from the time. Because all that power isn't put to waste due to the lack of weight, and that means that you can do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, 0 to 100 in 9.9 seconds, and go into a top speed of 139 miles an hour. Now, I know that top speed isn't all that great, especially for a car with nearly 300 horsepower, but this car's more about acceleration and handling more than top speed. So it's fair to say that's a good compromise. And to be honest, even if it did have a higher top speed, it wouldn't be all that much greater, because obviously it's got a lot of downforce with that front splitter and that rear spoiler. So it's a really rather good compromise to have the acceleration and the handling being prioritised over a great deal of top speed. And it works really rather well, and it's a really rather fun car to drive as well. So really rather impressed by it, to be honest. I wasn't expecting much from it, considering the Super Sport van, though a fun car to drive in its own right, wasn't radically different to a normal Transit, whereas this certainly is, and is all the more fun for it, to be honest. And glad it's in the game, to be honest. Though quite frankly, I think it would be more at home on a track than on an open world game like this, just like the other car that has been released via this via the Forza Festival playlist in this winter month, in the form of the Aston Martin Vulcan AMR Pro, which is also a track orientated vehicle, which again would benefit from being on a track orientated game. But like this, it's still a really rather fun car to drive, and yeah, certainly impresses in terms of its handling and its capability in terms of acceleration, especially considering what it is based on, even though it is radically different. But yeah, nonetheless, cracking vehicle. Now you can get it by doing a championship in Forza Festival playlist. You only have to do 3 races, and yeah, then it's all yours, which is pretty decent, to be honest. And at the end of the day, it goes towards your overall percentage for the current season. So you can get 2 birds with 1 stone, really, with doing this, and then that'll go towards getting the Aston Martin as well, which is at 50% overall. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.